Hello YouTube, it is Toy Ventures here again with another action figure review, and today is going to be pretty cool. Today we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Tiger Force, Duke, and Ram Cycle. So, as you guys know, I have reviewed the original Breaker and Ram Cycle before, and today at Target I got super lucky and found the Duke and Ram Cycle, the brand new one from Tiger Force. I did miss out on the original Duke. I saw it in stores a few times, but I was not a G.I. Joe Classified fan back then. I thought these don't look like the original Joes. They still don't look like the original Joes. Those old ones, the new ones do, but they didn't look like Joes. They came with like Nerf guns. They didn't look that good. The weapons were lame. Everything about them was just lame. I mean, that original Roadblock is atrocious, so much so that it's still available for retail on HasbroPulse.com. Nobody wants it. They all want the new Roadblock, and hopefully they release a newer one that's even more accurate. But until then, we have to deal with what we have. And in terms of Duke, we haven't had a replacement Duke. There hasn't been one on the retro card, which I'm still hoping they do. They do a more accurate to the 80s figure and put it on the retro card back that they have at Targets and stuff, or mainly Walmart's. I've only seen one at Target. So until then, this is going to be our Duke, the Tiger Force version. I definitely think this one is an improvement over the old Duke. I'll go ahead and flash a picture of what the old Duke used to look like right there. And that'll give you an idea of how bad it was back then. But it's not so bad anymore. Things for the G.I. Joe Classified line have really turned around in terms of sculpting and designs. And I am here for it. As you guys can see, I've been doing a ton of G.I. Joe reviews on this account now. And I'm going to keep doing them because I love this line now and I want to show you guys it and I want to bring it to you guys. Even if not a lot of you guys care, I know a lot of you guys are more dinosaur orientated. I don't care. I want to introduce more stuff to this channel, so that's what I'm doing. And we're going to start off with a banger today. Well, not start off. This is actually the second review for today, so ignore my rambling. I like that. My mouth works faster than my mind does sometimes. I'm sure a lot of you guys can catch on to that. Anyway. Let's take a look at the box, shall we? Because this is an awesome box art. I always say nobody does it better than G.I. Joe Classified in terms of box art. Each one is unique and fresh, and it reminds me of those 30th anniversary Star Wars figures from way back in the day where each box had its own unique art. And that's what they're doing here. We got an awesome image of Duke on the new Tiger Force Ram Cycle bursting into action with a big old explosion and a Hiss tank blowing up in the background. He's firing the Gatling gun, and he's got his submachine gun at the ready. And then you have a slightly less exciting picture of the actual figure there. I think these figures look a little big on the Ram Cycles. They're a little small for these figures, but it's okay. It's totally fine. It's a motorcycle, whatever, right? Absolutely amazing box art right here. I love this series' box art, and it makes keeping the boxes so much worth it. This is number 40 in the line, which is a little weird considering we're up to like 50. This must have been out for quite a while, and I'm really slow with getting new releases. Here on this side, we have a wonderful image of Duke and all these. These are not Sky Strikers because those look like more like F-22s. Maybe that is going to be the new Sky Striker to replace the old one. I believe it was the F-15 that used to be the Sky Striker. Don't crucify me on that. I'm not super into jets. And then we have a nice little image of Duke right here giving out commands. I wish they would have given us a pointing finger hand. That would have been really cool. Taking a look here at the back, it shows you everything you get in this packaging. So you, of course, get Duke, the new Ram Cycle, the minigun, the side carriage that carries the minigun. I guess now it's a rotary cannon. That thing is not a minigun. That thing's quite huge. You get the submachine gun that Stalker came with, a pistol, backpack. I'm not entirely sure what that little gadget right there is, but we'll see. And his little shoulder sling. So, very cool stuff. You just have another image here. Again, no bio, but at least this background is not taken up by some abstract lame image like the single carded figures are. You do get a contents breakdown and another just nice render of the figure itself. I would rather have this than what the regular figures come with. I'd rather have a bio, but this is still nice because at least it shows you relevant information. And on the other side, it shows you his strategic attributes, I guess. He is a chess piece, so I'm gonna guess that means he's an important figure on the battlefield. He He is of significance. He is a chess piece. He is the knight, I guess. I'm not big on chess, so I don't know the names of the individual pieces, but he is he's a special piece. And then he can also parachute in behind enemy lines. He's a paratrooper. He can get right up in there. He has heavy weapons, I'm going to assume that means, and he is a command figure. He is, I believe, second? No, that would be Stalker, technically. I'm not super familiar with the chain of command here, but Duke's up there. He's like the main character of G.I. Joe, so definitely he is of a higher rank. And he's Hawk's brother, I believe, so definitely a high rank. That family is certainly a G.I. Joe family. And nothing here on the bottom. So let's go ahead and get Duke and his Ram Cycle breaking out. And hopefully it'll look that cool breaking out of the packaging, but I have my doubts. And here is everything you get in the box. You get Duke, the Ram Cycle, the minigun, the carriage for it, backpack, weapons, and I am still not sure what this is, although I think this is actually a binocular? Yeah, I think this is actually binoculars. I'm pretty sure that's what these are. That's what these look like. So, fair price. You get this pack for $41, and this package is certainly more loaded than at least the Breaker was. The Breaker only came with a helmet, and then the Ram Cycle. $41, please. Yeah, they definitely made it much better this time around. I feel like this is a much better bang for your buck. Well, I don't like the colors on the Ram Cycle as much as I like the classic green one. For what you get in the box, it is so much more worth the price than the original one. I guess they were just banking the fact that it was a new character in the box. Big whoop, you didn't give him any accessories. You're supposed to release the Ram Cycle and the Duke as as if they could be their own releases packed together, and that's what makes it special. When you just put one figure in there with just like a helmet and no other weapons to have off the Ram Cycle, it feels less like a good deal and more like this is just an expensive way to buy a character. So this is definitely the redemption arc from the Ram Cycle before, in terms of bang for your buck, because I believe it's the same price and you get so much more in there. So, while Duke does not come with a helmet, he does come with a backpack, binoculars, sidearm, and a submachine gun. So, quite a full roster of weaponry. I think all he's missing now is a knife. So, definitely like this a lot, and let's go ahead and go over each individual accessory. So, the Ram Cycle, we'll go ahead and compare that to the original one, but first let's take a look at it, and we're going to take a look at the minigun first. So, for the minigun, it comes in this all red or all crimson color with some black handles, and the barrel spins, of course. A little lacking on the detail here, but it's totally fine. Most of this is going to be covered up inside of the carriage anyway, where it's just the barrel showing. I would have preferred having silver barrels, but that's something I can do, I guess. They never really painted the barrels on the last one, but that's because most miniguns have black barrels anyway. So I might just go ahead and make these black instead. I'm not above customizing my figures, especially Hasbro ones, because I have no loyalty to them. But anyway, this gun is nice. It is the same exact one we took a look at last time, just now red. And it has a Tiger Force logo right on there. You can see. Very nice, very cool. That's something Tiger Force always did, is they always had to mark up. It wasn't enough that they had different color schemes. They always had to say Tiger Force right on there. This little carriage is nice. It starts out with this orange up here at the top that fades into this yellow, kind of Jurassic Park-esque, with this red little detailed greebling bit right here. Same on the other side. And this just breaks open, and you put the minigun in there just like that, with the handle sticking out up top. And then you just plug it in. I don't know why this part is sticking up out of the top. I'm not sure what that's for, if that's part of a gimmick or anything. I wasn't really sure what it was for on the Ram Cycle either. But neat enough. And then all of this we'll just plug onto the side. But before we plug it in, let's take a look at this Ram Cycle itself. So this is a pretty eye-catching vehicle, to say the least. I actually like the colors. They're not too out there. I definitely appreciate the shark face. I like the shark face on anything. I think it's a cool design for vehicles. It starts out with this white up here at the top, or in the front. It says G.I. Joe MG1 1027. Tiger Force right there. You got the nice little shark face printed on here. Other side, there's no other printing, although it does have a little print of a castle right there. Not sure what that is supposed to mean. Again, I'm not super deep into the G.I. Joe lore, so I don't know all the little markings and whatnot. You do have nice painting detail going throughout this thing. you know, with like all the engine and whatnot. Not as crazy as it could be for a G.I. Joe line, but it is definitely a fair amount of paint. I think more than Mattel would have done, to be honest. Nice little silver bits right here. It's instrument cover, whatever that means. Got a nice little painting back here and a flip-up kickstand. The tires are rubber. Spin just fine. Very cool, very cool. Got a flip-up kickstand. If you want just the bike to stand on its own, you actually have nice painting going on here for the speedometer and all your little gauges and whatnot. Very cool, very nice. Black windscreen. I don't think this, oh, it does come off. I don't know why I had the hunch that that came off, but it does. It does. There was nothing on the box that even said that this would come off. I just literally attempted it right now, and it came off. So, if you wanted to have some battle damage, there you go. Anyway, let's get back onto the attachment. Plugs in right there. Push that in. And is it not wanting to attach? No, it's attached in there. I feel like it should peg in a little more. I mean, look how much the pegs are sticking out. It looks like it's not fully pegged in, but it's in there. And here we have the Ram Cycle. Very cool, very nice. Let's go ahead and get this Ram Cycle compared to our original Ram Cycle. That would make it 2 vehicles so far in the G.I. Joe line. Well, 2 vehicles I'm aware of. And I don't know if you count the Pentor's thing. And his tank isn't out yet. So. All right. So here we got the original Ram Cycle. And yeah, I think most will agree that the original Ram Cycle is the better color version of the two. I don't think I'm alone in that one. I just like the classic army green. This one just screams a real American hero to me. And it makes me so excited if they do a Mobat tank, a Vamp Jeep, the Ninja Cruiser, the Wolverine, any of the classic G.I. Joe cars. Like, not just weird contraptions that hold figures like some of the 80s toys were. I mean, real cars. And it makes me very excited for whenever those start dropping. Because, anything 1/12 scale now is exciting. So, these are the comparisons. The original one went for a more realistic color scheme. As you can see, the minigun is fully black, which is more realistic to an actual minigun or cannon, whatever you want to call it. So, there is the comparison. They do have their similarities. Both have the American flag, both have the silver bits, and both actually have the little castle emblem. So, the numbers are the same. They're both MG 1027. So maybe these are actually the same vehicle, just repainted by the team for this specific mission. Look at the other side. They both have a little wrench symbol. And this one doesn't have... Oh, no, it does. On the front, though. I was going to say it didn't have G.I. Joe written on there. So, there are the comparisons between the two Ram cycles. And now that we've taken an adequate amount of time to the Ram cycle, it is time to move on to the Joe, the other half of the $40 you pay for this experience. For Duke, we are issued a submachine gun, this being the same exact submachine gun that Stalker was given. And the mag, of course, is removable, but without the Stalker's little like backpack thing. There's nowhere to hold the mag, so I just suggest keeping it in there and using it for reloading pictures. He comes with a sidearm, just an indistinct little pistol. I don't think this is supposed to be based off of anything. What I believe are binoculars. Almost positive these are binoculars. I'm not sure where they peg in. They do have a little peg in there, but I think it's on the backpack. And his backpack. Looking very cool. As you can see, you've got an entrenching tool launched in right there, and 2 canteens on either side. Very reminiscent of his classic backpack, and I like that a lot when they kind of harken back to their real American hero. Always nice when they do that. It makes these figures just feel that much more familiar. So, loading him up, he is just plugs in right there. Bada boom. This thing, where does this thing plug into? Because it has a plug. I'm not seeing... Oh, right here. All right. So there's a little space right here. The hand's plugging it. That little hole. I'm assuming it just goes in right there. Yep, fits in perfectly. These backpacks are always a little tricky. And then you just snap that gun right in there. Bada boom. Bada boom. Gonna have to open up these hands. And Shazam. Pistol in the holster. And here is your classified Tiger Force Duke. This one I really like. While it doesn't come with a more M4 rifle like Duke should, that's really easily fixed by getting something from Gridiron or from Veliverse, or any real 1/12 scale weapons on the market. That can be easily done. I'm also going to get him a helmet because I feel like his noggin's a little unprotected, and being Duke, he's a leader. What he holds in such a little mind is quite important for the Joe team, so he should wear something to protect it, right? So I'm probably going to get him an extra helmet, maybe even a knife, and an M4 or some type of M16 rifle, just so he has a more proper loadout. Of course, the classic the G.I. Joe one came with like a weird laser gun, but this is supposed to be classified where they're a little more realistic, so yeah, can't wait for that. Anyway, taking a look at the outfit itself, instead of having Duke's classic yellowish tan shirt, instead we are given a much nicer, at least in my opinion, dark green dress shirt here with a nice little rank badge right there. Try to get him closer and actually get him in focus. My camera loves to go out of focus. Having a red collar and a white t-shirt underneath. This little bandolier here is marked as a separate accessory, and while it does come off, he comes packaged with it on, so I would just consider it more part of his kit than an actual genuine accessory. But you can take it off if you want to put other vests on him. It just slings off real easily. So taking a look at his pants here, they're just the orange with the black tiger stripe. That's what makes him truly Tiger Force, is the tiger stripe pants. And then he still has these lame shin guards that we saw from the Fortnite era of G.I. Joe Classified. You could possibly take these off and replace them with boots from a different character, maybe a more I would say Outback right now, because a lot of my targets have quite a few Outbacks out, and I would think it would be a really fun, just pop and swap to get him with better looking boots that aren't so Fortnite-ish with these big old shin guards. And this belt, I really like this belt. It just looks very military. You have a ton of pouches all around it. Holds his binoculars just fine. And he's got a holster. So equipment-wise for a G.I. Joe, Duke is pretty solid here. He's given a nice gun. He's given a sidearm. And yeah, this is just nice and indicative of classic Tiger Force Duke. I still am hoping they do a new one where it's on the retro card back and they make attempts to make it look more retro. I really hope they do that because I would get that in a heartbeat. I love those retro figures because they just harken back to what G.I. Joe used to be. So, hoping they still do that. I know they're going to continue doing that line. And with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get over Duke's articulation, because this being a classic figure, he does have classic articulation. Not that it was less than back then. We're just going to take a look at it in case something is different from the newer figures. So, starting up at the head, you have a ball joint and a hinge, which gives you lots and lots of movement being in the head. As you can see, he can look quite far up. He can look quite far down. The base of the neck is also unarticulated, so you can turn that around 360 degrees. Then moving down to the body, really nice ab crunch. Look at that. You can go that. You can go back real far. And then up here at the arms, shoulder swivel and hinge. So he can hinge up to about there comfortably. He can hinge down, put his arms at his side. Bicep swivel, of course. Double jointed pinned elbows, which offer a fair amount of bend in there. I'll do it with the non-weapon holding hand. You see, plenty of bend. Wrist articulation, rotation, and hinge. This one, they both hinge. No, actually, this one hinges in and out. This one hinges up and down. As you guys usually know, I would have that swapped and have this one going up and down for a better aiming pose, and have this one go in and out for a better holding pose for holding the barrel of the rifle. And then you have waist articulation, 360 degrees, usual. Drop down kicker here at the leg, which offers a fair amount of kick. Not quite ninja pose, but still a fair amount of kick. You really want Snake Eyes for those crazy ninja poses because he being a ninja. Pinned, double jointed knees, which can pose in about there. Boot rotation, which surprisingly enough, the shin guard does not actually hinder it. And nice feet movement down there. Plenty of rotation in there. You can get it down about that far. Up about there. Not too crazy. I think these guys would actually benefit from some toe articulation, a toe joint right there. That might be asking a little too much, but I think they would really benefit from something as simple as that for better posing on the while kneeling and whatnot. So that's really all I had to say on Duke here. He's just a solid new inclusion in the line. I'm gonna go ahead and give him an 8 out of 10. Just because I feel like they could have remolded his legs. They could have done more for the fixing of Duke, so he's more, proper and less like his original figure that turned a lot of people away from the G.I. Joe classified line. So I feel like they could have done a little bit more there. But other than that, it's really a great package. It's just a full package. You get Duke, you get the Ram Cycle, you get accessories for Duke. And yeah, I just think it's a solid 8 out of 10. Not quite too perfect, but very much worth your purchase unless you already have Duke, you already have the Ram Cycle, and you don't want another one. If you didn't wait to get your Duke, then I can see passing this up. When they need it, they are kind of outlandish colors to some. I like them, but a lot of people might not. So that's why I give it an 8 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10. If this was a completely new character, this would have been a 9 out of 10 easily. But it being a re-release of an old character with better colors, I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. Ram Cycle's a little out there, but you know that walking in, it's Tiger Force. So yeah, that has been it for my review. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and this has been Toy Adventures signing out. Peace.